talk a little bit about scaling laws and about what you've heard people are seeing behind the scenes? Because I keep hearing that no one's seeing anything to disrupt scaling laws with a lot of the AI chip kind of conversion right now. Do you agree with that?
I've been in SF for a couple of days just talking to some very, very smart people on that front at the key companies. And yeah, the indications are the scaling laws are very real and they are going to stun us on the upside over the next 3 to 5 years, as long as the compute is there.
What about the costs of producing the chips?
The cost of producing, again, that part is easy. We've known how to do this for 30 years. The costs, NVIDIA, when they get the chips right, Blackwell right, they'll sell it for the same price, more or less, as the H100s. It'll just be 30 times more effective on inference or more. It's just the Moore's law is now getting turbocharged by at least 3x for the next 3 to 5 years minimum. Scaling laws are real. It's just that, to your point, Chris, scaling laws don't happen in a vacuum. You need huge amounts of data. That's why I wrote a big piece on synthetic data just a couple of days ago. There's a lot of technical detail there. That's why I'm excited about silly ideas like, hey, your restaurants are going to provide the data, as an example. Data is going to come from a huge amount of places.
You can't pull it like Google used to do. You need people to input it.
It's no longer off Wikipedia. I'll give you one example because Sam Altman tweeted this. He said, OpenAI today, and remember, this is a company that ChatGPT was barely 2 years old. He said, we are producing new data at the rate of 100 billion words per day. He said all of humanity, 100 trillion words a day. And where there he's talking about 8 billion people talking and writing and doing everything every day. So that's the bid asked on the amount of data that people are doing. That's just their actions and speaking. That's not in their actions of moving and working in restaurants and working in factories and working in physical jobs. All that needs to be converted into data. That's what goes into the scaling of AI, that all these papers that Gary and others are talking about. That scaling is a 2 to 3 year effort, at least, to curate and put it together. So even though the computations go like this, the time to assemble the next generation chips are 2 to 3 years. The time to build the next generation of a gigawatt data center, 2 to 3 years. Time to build the data and curate it, 2 to 3 years. Time to train the next generation model, 2 to 3 years. That's why, even though the AI scales, the actual implementation at every stage across the 6 boxes of my tech stack take years. So that's the good news, bad news on this. But the reality is, to your point, Chris, the scientists are more than convinced that this scaling is real. And that's why they're looking to figure out how to get investors comfortable of these companies investing. Today, it's 15 billion a quarter. And next year, or next 2 years, it's going to be 30, 40 billion a quarter. And at some point, there's a limit. People want, hey, where's the beef? Where's the money? And that's going to be slower to come. So that's where the dislocations are.